So I want to welcome Maestro Crawford. Oh, and before we get going, I must say that this event tonight was sponsored in part by a generous gift from Dame Susie Sainsbury and her fund, who is a generous patron of the arts here at Hunter College. So, yes, thank you very much. Okay.
That's the first time I've ever been sponsored by a dame, I have to say. We are accomplishing many things in this session, and it is being videotaped. This is the 41st season of the American Classical Orchestra, and yet this is the first time I've ever seen a program with modern 20th century instruments on the same stage and Baroque ensemble on the same stage. So you really get to hear them side by side. It's exciting. Now, we thought the way we would format this is that we'll show you first 8 or 9 video clips of the period instrument orchestra. This is in Alice Tully Hall a year ago, the Bach St. John Passion. And I selected these for a couple of reasons. One is to focus in on the sound, of course, and in particular the sound of the period instruments with voices, solo voices and chorus, how it's just such a natural, organic thing, and is one of the main reasons that we do this, that we go to this trouble of the period instruments. So let's just start right out with the first one. This is the opening chorus of the St. John Passion. And for those who are conductors, or probably many of you are musicians, it starts with a vigorous repeating 16th note figure in all the string, da 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 da, 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4, and they do each one on one bow, and they're using Baroque bows, so it's lighter, and you'll see them. And I start them out by giving them, conducting students, I start them out by giving them a very firm 3 4 da 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 da, right? But in the case of a professional orchestra like this, since I love the suspensions between the flutes and oboes and those strings, within 2 beats, you can see on the video, I leave that music and I move over to pulling the, where it's really every half bar, the harmonic changes. So the many speeds of Bach is what this shows. Okay. It's hair-raising. I couldn't resist. You saw the oboes and the flutes on the sides playing those suspensions. So the next example I have for you is a countertenor. One of the joys of doing this music also is that even certain techniques are rediscovered for both singing and playing for period instrument groups. So the rise of the countertenor in the 20th century is a known thing, and this man, Reggie Mobley, is one of the best. Notice that the texture of the 2 Baroque oboes, the voice, each oboe has a voice, the singer has a voice, one line, I guess you could say, of the counterpoint, and one other counterpoint line, the continuo, cello, and bass. So there you see the countertenor has a highly developed falsetto voice, right? Now here's one of the Bach chorales, and again to the conducting students, I'll have you note that so much of these German texts are strong, weak, ich bin ein. And so I'm trying not to have it be very quarter note-y, that is a 1, 2, 3, 4, as if they're all equal. They're not. And doing it with the inflection of each word causes the chorales to go into 2. So you can see me trying to do that with them. I might also mention that at the end, yes, two things. One is you notice the gut strings, again, with the voices. If you listen to the voices, they're doubled by the strings, literally doubled, soprano, alto, tenor, and bass. And it adds a warmth to the voices, and the voices add a warmth to the strings. This is the only music of its kind in 500 years where there's this organic blend. And at the end, I use my hands to go like this, which is just a choral conducting, kind of a phony technique, but it's to show that the music, the notes should never just stand still. So when we get to the final chord of the thing, I could just go like this and then cut them off, right? But it's got to have that glow and that spin, and singers think like that. You never let one note just become labored. Here we go. Beautiful. That is a reason to be a musician, that music. Now we're going to hear what's so-called a turbo chorus, where the orchestra plays a separate part from the singers, and yet it all just sounds like one big shouting match. That man is the evangelist. And that other distinctive-looking man you saw in the first camera, that's Jesus. He's there. Now here's another chorale with an andante in the bass line, and I picked this one just to show you that the conductor has to make the decision of a lost practice that we have from Bach. When he used the Lutheran chorales or wrote hymns, they have fermatas at the end of each and every phrase. So in a hymn that has, say, 4 lines, there may be 8 fermatas. That is a symbol used by Bach to hold the note. The question is, and we all have wondered, how long do you hold it? Just for 1 beat, 2 beats? Should the breath be in time for the next beat? So I've done it differently for all the performances I've done of Bach Passions and chorales, such that for this one I decided to do it with go to the fermata, play the note in double value. So if it's a quarter note, we're going to hold it for 2, and then 1 beat as the breath. And the last couple. Yes, instruments, period instrument movement, one of the joys of it is that instruments that have fallen out of use come back. So Bach wrote for gambas, for example, and in this case, it's a viola da gamba playing with what are supposed to be two viola d'amores, which was already a pretty much obsolete instrument by the time of Bach. And they're rarely, if ever, played today, and I couldn't find two players to play them in the great city of New York, or even importing them. So we instead just played on regular violins, but we did use a gamba as the bass. Sarah Cunningham's viola da gamba is a 7-string instrument, you may have noticed. It's a joy to bring these instruments out into the mainstream. Here's one that's the biggest conducting challenge of the Passion. It's in a very, very fast 3, and the bass soloist has a chromatic figure, extraordinarily difficult to sing, and it's totally independent of what else is going on in the orchestra. And then the chorus says, where have you taken Jesus? And they do these offbeat, every one of them is syncopated. So they have to be cued, and it's a bit treacherous.
Angefochtenen Seelen, ihr 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 angefochtenen Seelen, geht aus euren eilt, nach Golgatha. Eilt nach Golgatha.
And run where? Yeah. Now here is the also extinct instrument called the oboe da caccia, the hunting oboe, and the body of the instrument is literally bent in a curvature. You'll see it. Glorious sound. And Sandy Miller, who you're going to hear tonight play the flute, she plays a flute part which is so abstract. This is after Jesus has died, and it's a kind of a reflection on his death. And to pick this instrumentation is nothing short of bizarre. But the oboe is dominant, and then the flute notes are very low, and she plays staccato notes with him. Would you choose those? I don't know. Here it is. Here's what it sounded like in Bach's time. last one to give you an example of is the final chorus, and this is a mea culpa. It's on film, it's permanent. I am wanting the strings to bring out a contrapuntal, kind of a stretto entrance. You know, the violins play da-da-da-da-da, and then the seconds play da-da-da-da-da after them, and I'm giving them this width, you might say, to bring it out. But in my doing this kind of thing, it got lost. I mean, it started to come unglued. And so what I do, you watch on the video, is instead of more like this, which you might think would be the natural answer in a panic from a conductor, wait, no, the only solution is to bring it close to the chest, right in the center, and very small. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, you know, to get it back together. And you'll notice at the end of the clip, after I've gone through that experience, and we made it through, that the concertmaster helps me out by, you know, like really picking up her bow and like, here's the downbeat, folks.